Hi everyone, it's Kristen. Okay, so I know I cut the other video off a little abruptly and I apologize about that. It's just that it was running longer than 30 minutes and I try not to do that, but I kind of forgot. I didn't think that there was that much more to talk about, but there is, because I totally forgot the reason why I picked this issue is because Fantastic Four 278, because She-Hulk is a member of the Fantastic Four at this point. So I wanted to talk about her and why that is, and I totally forgot. Oh yeah, we have a lot more to talk about. So that's why I cut it into part 2. And the air conditioner is off again because it's in the 90s, like high 90s again. So I didn't want the air conditioner to run while I was doing the videos because, like I said, it interferes with the sound quality of the video. Like, you can't hear me as well over the air conditioner running. It's been running pretty much all day, and I keep my thermostat on 77, which is actually pretty high, like, because, you know, trying to save money, trying to make it not come on so much, but it's been on all day because it's been hot again today. So, and it's September, like the end of September, and yet, like, here we go. Here we are. It's still hot, but of course, like I said, it's Texas. Anyway, so like I said, I picked this issue because it related to Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange 75, because they talk about that's where Franklin destroyed Mephisto, the Marvel's version of the devil, and so when we ended the last video, we were talking about Reed doing tests on Franklin to make sure, you know, he was okay and make sure his power blockers were in place, and things like that. And, you know, Reed knows that he didn't actually destroy Mephisto, like, completely. He just dispersed him. So he'll be back, but, you know, still, it was a super, I mean, it took a super amount of power to do that even. And so, of course, Sue's just worried about him, and, you know, she just wishes that he could have a normal life. And Reed's like, well, he's not going to have a normal life because we're his parents. So it's not, a normal life is not physically possible for him, even if he didn't have these powers. So he said, as long as he's loved and healthy, you know, that's really all that matters. And he definitely is loved. And, you know, they run all these tests to make sure he's healthy. So, okay. Here we go. Another reason why I chose this is She-Hulk. She is a member of the Fantastic Four at this point because the Thing actually personally asked her if she would join the Fantastic Four while he was gone. Because he chose to stay on Battleworld because of the fact that he could transform at will between, you know, his alter ego, the Thing, and Ben Grimm, which he hasn't been able to do in the past. So he decided to stay there. So since he decided to stay there, he asked She-Hulk, because the team needed, you know, kind of like a powerhouse person that had strength, physical strength, if she would take his place while he was gone. And she agreed. And it's interesting because, you know, you see her and here she's compared to like a normal guy. He's probably, you know, we don't know how tall he is because it didn't say. Of course, she's like 7 feet though. So you see she's like a whole head taller than him, and then she, you know, picks him up because they're dating. And this is Wyatt Wingfoot. He is a Native American, and he and Johnny met when they both went to college together. They were roommates. And he doesn't have any superpowers or anything, but he is around a lot, and he just kind of helps the Fantastic Four and stuff on their adventures since he's so close to Johnny. And he and She-Hulk were actually engaged at one point, but he called it off, and he went back to his people in Oklahoma when they discovered there was a huge like reservoir of oil underneath their land, and he was responsible for helping to broker a deal between the U.S. government and his tribe. Anyway, so he remarked, She-Hulk is like, people are just gawking at us. I mean, but I'm not going to let that spoil my fun. I mean, honestly, if you saw this, really gorgeous, because she is gorgeous, 7 foot tall green woman out anywhere, of course you would stare too. I mean, because that's not normal, even in a superpowered city or superpowered state like New York, because that seems to be where all the superheroes are based out of, basically. So, and Wyatt's like, I'm surprised. People are usually super polite to the Fantastic Four. And I mean, of course they are, because they are public. Everyone knows their identities. It was a very public thing what happened to them. And they're like America's, first family, or, they have been called that in comics before. And yeah, so I mean, that would explain why people are super polite to them. So basically what happens is the security guard, he notices someone threw a brick through the Baxter building, and then the Baxter building starts to rise. And Johnny sees it, and of course he says, flame on, turns powers on, and goes to try to catch the building, and goes all the way up into space. And he tries to, but of course, there's no oxygen way up there, so his flames start going out, so he can't fly. So Reed uses his arm, to pulls him into the building. And of course, Sue uses her force field to shield them so they don't, die out in the vacuum of space. And we see She-Hulk. She has changed into her uniform. I guess, it's funny because, when you realize something is happening, and I guess, it's an instinct to take time to change into your uniform. I don't know. Or maybe she had it on under her dress. Let me see. No, because her uniform comes all the way up to her neck. And here, of course, you see she has a necklace on. So, no, she didn't have it under. But anyway, it's just interesting to me. Like Superman, he always wears it underneath his clothes, so he just pulls it apart and away he goes, basically. So just an observation. So basically, they're like, "What the heck is going on? What's happening?" And then you see Dr. Doom, or who they think is Dr. Doom, because Reed's like, "You look a little different. Your armor's different. What's going on?" But yeah, Dr. Doom's like, "It's me. I take credit for this." And he's like, "Farewell, Fantastic Four," blows up the building. So that's where it ends. But of course, they didn't die. They're not dead. Sue saves them because using her force field, and Reed, Sue puts everyone in her force field. Reed, covers all of them up so that, they're safe. And then Johnny absorbs the flames as they re-enter Earth's atmosphere, and they go basically straight to Latveria to confront Doom. And, okay, so, but of course, they find Doom, but it's not Doom. So, like I said, of course they don't die. I mean, but Doom thinks they're dead. He thinks he's succeeded. Because he's like, well, I know what the flaw was with my original plan. I trusted someone else. And also, at that time, Sue could not generate force fields. She had just started, just gotten her powers, and she could just turn invisible, and that was it. So I'm sorry that ran longer than I meant it to. It just, there was a lot to talk about, I guess, with Doom's origin. Even though I tried to condense it as much as I could. But, there's a lot to talk about with him. There's a lot to unpack there. So next we're going to talk about Fantastic Four, let's see, 293. And you'll see why when we talk about that. It relates, again, to what we just talked about. And then I'll be able to further explain what happened in this issue. So hope you join me for that one. Until then, bye.